Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised, and, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone in.
Dude, stop pushing buttons. Just stop pushing buttons, dude.
All right.
You just changed us out of the place we were at.
I'm getting nothing but messages saying this is like 4 days, something's going to happen, this is going to happen. And
don't worry about that stuff. That's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you.
I had no idea.
Go ahead, start the show, man, because we're all screwed up now. Just go ahead.
All right. I apologize for screwing up the show today. I don't know what was going on. Warning messages going on, signs going off, aliens coming through the front door. I've had no pancakes. This story here between UFOs and pancakes, which I'll talk about come Thursday. So I went to panic mode. I want to make sure that people's sponsorship ads are run because, we paid for that privilege. And I want to make sure they get what it is. I shouldn't have panicked. I should have realized that Paps was on the job. And with Paps on the job, everything will happen. Absolutely, without a doubt. My apologies again. Better than to panic and make sure, or at least try, than to let things go to hell. Oh, yeah, it's tech issues. Yeah, mostly me, perhaps, and other things as well. First of all, I want to add my email here. Wayne Clingman here, aka Mr. Big, and we're on the phase of the show with we have what's going on with Bugsy. We'll be talking about Bugsy's coming back live. We're launching Bugsy on Friday. Along with the relaunching of Bugsy, I'll be talking about the Vegas Skim in this show on Tuesdays. Again, on Tuesdays, I'll be talking about the Vegas Skim, following the outline of my book I've written with Roger, the Like an Onion. You get Like an Onion on Amazon. Good morning, Grey Wolf. Nice to see you here. Okay, so talking about the Skim and Bugsy. Bugsy plays a role. But let's back up. The Skim started after the Mafia got to Vegas. The Mafia didn't show up to Vegas to do the Skim. The Mafia showed up to Vegas to do the job they're hard to do. The Mafia showed up in Vegas to run the casinos. Yeah. The Mafia was hired by people who own the casinos to run casinos. Because the Mafia knew how to run casinos, the activities in the Ohio River Valley. You could be Toronto, Toledo, Cleveland, Lexington, Kentucky, Louisville, up and down the Ohio River Valley, up and down the Cumberland River Valley, western parts of Pennsylvania, were all filled with casinos. These casinos were run by the people running the Mafia. Not only the Mafia's families in New York, but the Mafia families that moved to these areas as the western frontier pushed west. People like to gamble. People like to eat good food. They like to gamble. Like to pick up whores. The casinos were good at doing that for people. The mafia knew how to run them. When Vegas got started, the casinos were legalized in Vegas in the 30s, 1930s, 20s, 30s. They started off well. The gambling was legalized in Nevada in the 30s, right? They meaning casino owners, people investing in casinos, wanted experts coming in there to run them. So they turned to the mafia to run the casinos. Once they were there, the mafia figured out that, hey, this is an opportunity for us to do a skim. We're going to define the skim in the simplest way possible, which is the separation between the money that you bring in and the money that you report to the government for taxation. Good examples of that is people out there that might have driven for pizzas, might have driven for pizza delivery, other type of deliveries, we get cash tips. Sometimes you report that cash tips be taxed, and sometimes you didn't. That's a skim. Kind of sort of what the Vegas mafia was doing, like casinos were doing. Is they, let's say, made $100 that day. Maybe they reported $95 of it, and they kept 5 in a separate pile for their own uses. Those own uses would be, oh, gee, why don't you take this $5 and we just send up the chain of command to the families where we come from. Be it the Kansas City mafia, Milwaukee families, Chicago families, New York a little, right? But obviously, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Kansas City were the big movers and shakers. Detroit was one, too. I mean, at one time, most of the mafia families had their hands at least one casino, sometimes more. As Chicago outfit would show. Also, we'll go into how they developed, which ones casinos they wanted to go for, and why that might have happened. But that's basically when we talk about the skim, what we're talking about. We start off with early Vegas, because Vegas didn't grow up overnight. Vegas started off, I get rid of some of their messages if I can. Vegas started off as it's basically a place in the middle of the desert. There we go. Middle of the desert where people could go and find water to water the sheep, water the livestock, right? So that's where Vegas got its start. It was basically a place where people could go and water livestock, right? When the railroad started coming out west, Vegas was seen as a good place to get water. Vegas was seen as a good place to have housing developed for the Hoover Dam crews. They're building Hoover Dam. That was close to Hoover Dam. People could live there. You know, when you have people with lots of single young men that needed entertainment, what better entertainment than, a whorehouse, a casino, and again, in your casino, you can have a whorehouse, not that whores ever work in casinos, gambling, people like to gamble, and good food. The works want something to do when there's spare time. No doubt about that one. It's some really interesting people throughout the years would intersect between gambling, casinos, the skim, and Vegas. The nicest thing, no, not nice, most interesting thing I find about the casinos and the skim is it offers everything that a good mafia, good crime story should offer, which is violence. Oh yeah, like lots of violence. Sex, yeah. We have people's, not only have the hookers coming and going, but we have a lot of women that come and go out of Vegas. They utilize the best resources that not be sexist here, but using what they have to offer to get ahead of the game. Virginia Hill would be a prime example of that. Virginia Hill ran with my guy, Bugsy Siegel. Now, mind you, Virginia Hill would also run with a lot of drug gangsters, most of which treated her horribly. Can you imagine? She went from where she was born in the South, Chicago, at a young age with her then husband to enter the porn industry in the 20s and 30s, right? She went from where she was born, she linked with the guy, I think she was 16, 17 at the time, and she moved to Chicago with him to enter the sex trade industry. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking I want my daughters to go to school to learn how to become a nurse, which one did. One becomes an X-ray technician, great. One's hairdresser. All of them have good jobs. All of them make good money, right? Absolutely, 100% good money. I never would have saw entering the sex industry as a way to make good money sustainable, right? But some people did. Virginia Hill was one of these people who thought her boyfriend, husband, that she really had no other choice in her life than to do that. When she got in Chicago, well, she was a reasonably attractive young woman at that time of her life, and she realized what she had to offer to run with monsters. She ran with, lots of them. My mind is shut off names. I apologize for that. But the famous one she ran for is Joel Anadis. I mispronounced his name, right? Joy A was his nickname. Joy A at least treated her well. Can't say as much about Bugsy. Bugsy would beat her. Bugsy would beat her for fun. He would beat her when she had upset in the world, which is most of the time. Bugsy was not a nice guy. Bugsy was an irrational man. And we go from people like Joey A, who treated her respectfully, kindly, was generous to her. Something like Bugsy, well, you got problems, right? And one of the things that we're talking about, looking at in the movie in Bugsy, was she driven to the point of being beaten throughout her life, be beaten at that stage of her life, take some type of drastic action in Bugsy. I think with Bugsy, along with Skim, is we talk about with him, intersection everything going wrong with his life, and all the people lined up that wanted him dead and why they wanted him dead. And by the time he started to Flamingo, at the time that he stole the Flamingo, right, from Billy Wilkinson, he had pissed off a lot of people. He pissed off, Billy Wilkinson. He pissed off Virginia Hill and her brother, I should say. Her reputation as his own being a violent guy. He pissed off people in the LA mob. The people want to call the LA mob the Mickey Mouse mob because they were killing people. Well, again, that's because people want to go and treat a screenplay like real history. That's because the LA Mafia didn't run up on the street shooting people all the time. Didn't make them any less of a vicious organization. They ran gambling shifts back in the day. These gambling ships were anchored off the coast of LA, and other places in the west coast of California, and both had gone to ferry people from the cities and the shoreline to the boats, the gamble, stuff like that, and take them back at night. Bugsy Siegel made offers to some of these boat owners that they couldn't refuse. Some of these people relied with the relied with the mafia from Los Angeles, California. Sometimes they made deals where everybody made money, and sometimes were forced to make deals where only Bugsy made money. And these people have a memory. These people had guns. These people knew other people had guns. You see what I'm getting at? So lots of reasons a lot of people wanted Bugsy dead. There's a lot of money to be made in gambling. If you look at the boats, the gambling ships that were used, Google the SS Rex. And look at the pictures of how well that boat was laid out. Look how much money they invested in that boat to make it run well, to be able to go and take care of the gamblers who would go out there. When you have to give most of your money to Bugsy Siegel, and so many ships were having to do that, weren't that upset you? It upset me. Will these people be driven to the point of perhaps winning him dead? Yeah, I'm thinking. And then, of course, I don't go out to rabbit holes here. That's just a tip of the iceberg. What was going on? Bugsy Siegel, at the same time, as the movies would like you to believe, I'm slowing down my speed of talking, by the way. Would like you to believe that he was a nice guy, charming kind of a guy, good-looking kind of a guy. He was a vicious killer. He was a vicious pimp. He was a vicious drug dealer. Right? I mean, all these things that make you despise his existence, right? Because, well, he was kind of cute, and yeah, he took good pictures, and we have that other movie called Bugsy. Excuse me. People don't give this guy respect, but he's actually a horrible human being. One of the other things we would bring up in the movie, and about that documentary, was what he was really like versus what the media wants you to believe. All these things lead up to quite the number of people that wanted him dead. By 1947, even way before Vegas takes off, he will be really, really dead. In fact, he will be blown away, sitting in his girlfriend's home, because she's went to Paris to take a trip. But he's sitting there reading the paper, and somebody with the M1 carbine on his side of the rounds, they found his skull, the split casings they found outside, an M1 rifle, M1 carbine, shot him up. And one went back of the head and below one of his eyes, which is found across the room. Yeah, they wanted him dead. Somebody wanted him dead. That's just a bit of the violence that takes place with the Skim. We have another gangster, a Jewish gangster. There'll be two religious groups that run through the theme of the Skim. One will be Jewish Mafia. The other one would be Mormons. Now, you really can't call what people have a Mormon Mafia, right? You can make that argument. The Mormons, especially the former bikers, especially in the early days, was thick as flies when it came to working with the Detroit Mafia, the Jewish Mafia, the Chicago outfit, my guy Frank out of Milwaukee. Everybody was working with the Mormons, the Mormon bikers, make sure they got their money. We'll talk about that. And you have Jewish Mafia. All of the major hotel casinos, at least in the early days, were run by Jewish Mafia members. Bugsy Siegel's also a member, and be included in the Jewish Mafia. Now, the Jewish Mafia was organized the same structure as it was with the Italians, because they had their own thing going on, right? Now, no way, shape, or form was Bugsy a made man. No shape, matter, or form was Mylensky a made man, right? They were associates. Associates were bringing in to the mafia, the Italian mafia, an awful lot of money. They're still associates. That's why some of them don't get treated very well. Might be one of the reasons why Bugsy was killed, because he cannot claim protection, right? And somebody against the world. This is another guy. I was name I can't pronounce. I'm writing all these names down and practice pronouncing them. Who was forced. He quit. The guy quits. The guy doesn't want to do the casino stuff anymore. He's old. He drinks too much. He knows he's self-good. He's going to quit. He quits. And the Chicago outfit doesn't want him to quit. They make him a deal. They can't refuse where he has to go back, which is quite the story of itself, right? So they make him go back, open up a casino. Lo and behold, he starts drinking. He starts picking up hookers, drinking, picking up hookers, gambling incisively, right? And maybe putting some money that should be going up to Chicago in his own pockets. And one day, well, they get fed up with that. One day, he gets killed with his wife. There's some of the stories. I mean, we have a guy named Burke, whose name I horribly mispronounced. But his claim to fame is he turns in a bunch of people. I don't think he's Jewish. I'm checking that one. But he turns in a bunch of people, include Handsome Jenny Roselli, for doing extortion in Hollywood movie theaters. Okay? A bunch of people go to jail. He's one of them. He gets out early because he's turned in all these people. He's helped turn to say 7. He gets out. He gets a job in a Vegas casino. The Vegas casino owner at that time, the guy I previously mentioned, is told to fire him. Get rid of him. We don't act like him. He put our people in jail. We don't like him. The guy, Goldbaum, refused. Okay. One day, Bernhoff decides to go to Phoenix to get away from it all. Have a vacation. And he goes to his casino, to his truck, to go home. He turns the ignition. He's blown up. His car blows up. We'll see all the car bombings too. We'll see he's blown up with a car bomb. Frank Rosenthal was blown up with a car bomb. Frank Rosenthal lives. Thankfully lives, right? There's an iron plate meeting this seat that saved his life. And I'm thinking that my guy Milwaukee, Frank wanted him dead, because at that time, Rosenthal was expected to be and informant to the FBI. Around this time, some of the FBI cases, Department of Justice cases, hits the Mafia family, especially in Kansas City. And Frank knows what's going to happen. Frank knows he's in that list too. He most likely will be going to jail so much time soon. Why not with the guy who you think is put you in jail for 20 years? Dead. I would. So let's boil him up. I mean, there's always an argument between did my guy Frank do it or did Kansas City do it? I mean, something else we'll talk on here. As you can see, I'm really working on trying not to talk quickly, and I apologize. In the weeks to come, that's what we'll be talking about. And I have an outline. I'll try to do a better job of pronouncing names. I'm really, really bad at pronouncing names. But the idea here is to get people interested in doing two things. One, getting the book that I help write called Like an Onion, a story on the Skim of Vegas, and be motivated to help with funding of the documentary on Bugsy. And I think come next week, that trailer will be played on the different shows that I have a sponsorship of as part of the Madness Network. So people, they can see that, go to the site and contribute to make this movie happen. Again, it's not live now because it's live on Friday, so there's no need to play it before it goes live. Absolutely none. So I'll try to make these shows 30 minutes more or less. I'll try to do a better job at pronunciation, slowing down my voice. But as you can tell, this whole situation gets really incredible. Oh, other people involved in the Skim. Well, we know the Teamsters are involved in the Skim. But the idea we'll put out there as well, as we redo the book, as we add to the book on the Skim, right, is the CIA. Yeah, the CIA is involved. And we're thinking maybe, of course, a group called the Haganah. Now, the Haganah is a group of Jewish resistance fighters active in Palestine, who are living in Palestine, trying to protect the Jewish settlers coming from Europe to Palestine. They're running into conflicts with the Arabs, right? That's what's going on, God, sadly, forever, it seems. But the Haganah is protecting the Jewish settlers. To protect the Jewish settlers and try to resist the British government, you need guns. Who can a group turn to for money and guns who might be the same religion as you are, and understand the horrific treatment that you just got done dealing with in Europe? Oh, the Jewish mafia families in, Las Vegas. And who's helping them get the stuff off the ground? Oh, the CIA. Oh, gee. Interesting, that, isn't it? And with the Teamsters, you have, of course, Hoffa. And Hoffa gets a lot of investments and lots of casinos. Absolutely, he does. And those casinos make the Teamsters money because they pay back the loans with interest, right? What many people don't realize, I only realized this in the past few years, is that the Teamsters loans were paid off by when Howard Hughes bought the casinos away from the mafia families, right? He paid off the Teamsters loans were paid off for. Why did Howard Hughes, who might have even been dead by the time he got to Vegas, versus a reported death years after, why did he only pick those casinos to buy? Was it because his good friend, his helper, by the name of Mayhew, I apologize, Mayhew, was an active, very active member of the CIA and working for the CIA and helping make sure that they could use Howard Hughes as a cover of all kinds of things, interesting things such as the Glomar Explorer. Yeah, interesting how Howard Hughes would buy up the casinos owned by the Chicago, owned fronted by others, but basically owned by the mafia to make sure those Teamsters loans were paid off. Interesting. Was that the plan? If so, how long did that plan exist? Some of the many, many interesting, fascinating things we shall be going into as time goes on. But that's all the time I have before. I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes. I try and do this for my voice. Sometimes I have to really work on it. I know that. I appreciate everybody taking the opportunity to listen. If you want to be another plug for Bugsy. I need help. I can't be in all social media platforms. If you're on, say, Facebook, because I don't do a lot of Facebook, if you're good at Instagram, you're good at TikTok, I want to talk to you. My email has been up there and the comments now. And send me an email. Say, hey, you want to help? I got room, please. Give me, we'll make some type of deal. If you one thing we can do is make you a producer if you can do certain things. We can give you other trinkets as well and see what goes on. But anyway, if you're interested in helping, please get a hold of me. My email's up there on the chat section. And I look forward to talking to you all. With that, I'll bounce out of here and let Doc finish up things he needs to do. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Glamorized and embraced by Hollywood, feared in the underworld, Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was one of the most powerful men in America. He was also one of the most hated. The man who gave birth to Las Vegas was gunned down in the luxurious home of his glamorous lover. Almost 80 years later, his murder remains unsolved. Who killed Bugsy?
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they have just, I mean, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Mr. Chris, what up? Also, Christgau from rock and roll band Five Finger Death Punch. Heard that you're about to launch your newest board game, Gods of Metal, where you take on the persona of different metal musicians to stop the overlords and their demons from taking over reality. I think I know a metal musician that can help you fight those overlords and those demons. That is me, Christgau. So, shout out to you, Chris. Shout out to all of the Laughing Rogue crew. And shout out to Gods of Metal. I will be in there taking over reality from the demons and the overlords. Christgau.
ancient darkness is breaking through into our reality. The overlords are coming. They're demons united. They'll stop at nothing to tear our world to shreds. And the only thing that can stop them is the power of metal. You have been chosen by the gods of metal to lead this crusade of finger-shredding fury. You must write the sick riffs, craft the awesome lyrics, find unholy rhythms, and set the heads banging. Show the overlords that their darkness is nothing compared to yours. Gods of Metal is a co-op deck-building game for 1 to 4 players. You and your bandmates must work to create the most powerful band in human history. Find mystical instruments of legend, outlandish costumes to improve your powers, and recruit mascots to help you battle the overlords. Find the power of pure decibels and use them to destroy your enemies by crafting songs that will literally blow their minds. Form a band. Save the world. Gods of Metal. Now on Kickstarter.
The future. The final frontier. It has never been so uncertain as now. AI, VR, haptic wear, nanotechnology, mass destruction with a remote click. Now we are finally seeing the true potential and dangers of an ever-connected and overly policed hyper-technological world. Have we finally become the architect of our own demise? Is there still hope? Welcome to the future. Welcome to Punk Droid.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands are done.